I'm upping the stakes of the classic nothing to a knife CS2 challenge. Starting with a weekly drop worth $1.33, we'll do profitable trade ups until I can attempt a contract for one of the most iconic skins in the entire game, the KARAMBIT Blue Gem in Factory New. We're picking up where we left off with a balance of $31.79, and the first combination I tried this week was using 10 P90 Reef Griefs under 0.0556. However, I wasn't able to find enough inputs at an appropriate price, as they really need to be under the roughly $1.20 mark to make this work. Then, as I was looking at some other options, I came across this contract, which used 10 USPS Sleeping Potions in Battle Scarred to go for the Amphryonis Party Animal in Well Worn. I like these kinds of combinations because there's only one output, so we're guaranteed to get the M4. However, finding it difficult to get the specific floats it requested, I decided to see what would happen if I just went for a Battle Scarred output instead, and was still happy with the margin. So I ignored the float cap and picked up 60 USPs around the 70-cent mark. Look at all those sleeping potions. I wonder what we're going to get, guys. Wow, M4 Party Animal. This video's sponsor, SkinSwap, is giving you a skin worth up to $50 entirely for free whenever you do your first trade and use my referral code. If you want to refresh your loadout, you can trade your skins for brand new ones in just a couple of seconds. Plus, their market tab now integrates cheap listings from Chinese sites so you can access the best prices without the need for a Chinese ID or bank account. They accept deposits via crypto, MasterCard, and Visa. If you want to cash out, SkinSwap makes that simple too, with instant sell options to PayPal or crypto. On top of that, they run free daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways with the chance to earn extra entries simply by trading. Use the link below for a 3% lifetime sales bonus and a free skin worth up to $50. Big thanks to SkinSwap for supporting the channel. Next up, and this time we're going for a contract with a 60-40 split of Genesis and Dreams and Nightmares skins. We're using lower float Take It to Hells around the 0.25 mark, and then well-worn Genesis inputs to keep the average output under the 0.38 field tested threshold. The great thing about the Genesis collection is that all of the skins have the full 0 to 1 float range, so they can be easily substituted out if you find cheaper alternatives. And this contract seems almost too good to be true right now. Every outcome is actually in the green. We would prefer to see the AWP ice cold, but even the Melodrama would be about a 60-cent profit. Let's go for our first contract here. Not too fast about what we get. MP7, that's solid. Trade up number 2. Melodrama. Okay. Not the best, but it's fine. And number 3, can we see an AWP? Another Smoking Kills. That also works. And similar to last week, there have still been quite a few single collection contracts popping up lately. So for our next combination, we're going for the Fever Classifieds with 10 AK Searing Rages. I started out with 10 field tested inputs, however, as I was able to pick up a couple at the 0.22 and 0.3 float mark at market price, I filled out the rest with well-worn skins, bringing down the overall input cost and improving the margin. It's nothing crazy here, but for a $39 contract, we have a 50-50 between the AWP print stream and Famous Bad Trip. Both outcomes would be profitable, although the AWP sells for slightly more. So once again, we're actually not too fussed about which output we get. Fever trade up number 1, let's go for it. That's an AWP print stream, alright, very nice. Can we go back to back? No. That's fine though, and I think we are actually past the $50 mark now as well, so that's huge. I'm giving away an AK-47 Vulcan in field tested this month. For your chance to win, simply like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. I'll pick the winner on July 31st. Good luck. The next contract we are running is an even split of Chroma 2 and 2018 Nuke collections. The original contract suggested all inputs required a 0.232 float or lower. However, as usual, thanks to a couple of lower float skins, I was able to sneak in a 0.288 and a 0.32 Mag 7 heat, which helped save a couple of cents. Thankfully, it wasn't too hard to find appropriately priced skins for a couple of these, so I purchased 40 inputs at roughly $10 per trade up. In the end, we have a 75% chance to profit, although the FAMAS and 5.7 pretty much break even. What we're really after is that M4 control panel, which would be a solid $15 profit. Let's make this happen. We'd love to see that control panel. Attempt number 1. FAMAS. Okay, not the best. That's all right though. We go again. Another break even. That's back-to-back monkey business. And last one. Come on, M4. Another gin. Well, that was a very unsurprising streak, but at least we didn't hit the Tech 9. On to the next one then, and I like the look of this fairly cheap contract which mixed 5 Battle-Scarred Urban Sovereigns alongside 5 MP7 Just Smile in Field Tested. Just like in the Genesis collection we used earlier, all of the Dead Hand collection skins have the same 0 to 1 float range, so it's easy to swap out these MP9s for the Amberline or Galligator. In the end, I was able to build contracts for roughly $5.60, and whilst pretty much the only outcome that's profitable is the Crane Flight with a 17% chance, it would be about $13 profit, whereas the maximum loss is only $2. Because of this cheap entry point, I was able to pick up enough inputs for 8 contracts. We just need to hit 1 Crane Flight and we should be good. Here we go. AK Crane Flight. Boom! Crane Flight on the first try. Okay, we are off to a great start. Let's see if we can get another. Well, we didn't get another. But hey, I won't complain, we're still up overall. Now let's dive into a collection you've probably never seen used in a trade up before, Overpass. And no, I'm not talking about the 2024 collection featured in the Armory. I'm talking about the OG 2014 version. With the recent introduction of Souvenir Trade Ups, it's freed up inputs of every rarity from some of these older collections. For this contract, it's a combination of 5 Souvenir X and Very Camo Blues with some dirt cheap fillers from the Kilowatt case. If we actually hit any of those Kilowatt skins, we pretty much lose all $15. But if we hit either the USPS Road Rash or Orp Pink DD Pat, we could get close to double. It's a 50-50 here, and there were not many inputs available, so we only have 1 attempt. It would be super cool to see that USPS. I've never had one in my inventory, but for whatever reason, I feel like it's a pretty iconic one from so many years back. Anyways, we're going for it here. Let's see that USPS Road Rash in 3, in 2, in 1. Boom! Orp Pink DD Pats. Orp Pink DD Pats. I will not complain about that. That is a solid hit. Once again, a really strong streak of trade ups there. We were able to profit nearly $50 this episode and get our balance up to 76 total. Be sure to subscribe for the next episode of this journey and take a look at one of these videos for more money making methods for CS2. Thanks so much for watching and take care.